So Direct Joy today is not live. Direct Joy is directly to my video setup and will be posted later because do you know what? We're in a retrograde, and if you know anything about astrology, what a retrograde means is that all of the planets are whizzing around in a different direction. I don't know the exact thing because I'm not an astrologer and I don't pretend to be, but it does interest me because when we have retrogrades, technology goes whizzy, okay? It's just a link, okay? And for me, as a slight interest in how the world works, how nature influences what we do, as a psychologist, as a mum, as a psychotherapist, as a human being, as part of nature, that really intrigues me, right? Because what is it that we think we are mightier than? What is it that we think actually technology should always work for me? What is it that has caused me so much rage against my internet supplier when actually, there are greater forces than the internet? There are greater light forces and there are greater shadow forces. And mental health really brings that into a very poignant, simple way. We define mental health in layman's terms as sad, bad, or mad. And actually, what is it about the shadows and the depths of our mental health that we really choose to ignore a lot of the time? It's one of the reasons that Direct Joy came into play, because I got really, really, really annoyed about the fact that all of this information that I got trained with, all of this experience that I had working in the NHS, working in the prison service, working in private practice, working with charities, big charities, right? Small, local charities, youth charities, adult charities, working with all types of walks of lives of people and ages and cultures and people the way they identified. And I started getting really knocked off, burnt out, because all this stuff wasn't disseminated. And so now, hearing your questions, hearing the questions that come up in my now private caseload, and remembering some of the times in the NHS and the prison, and really brings up what is going on in the world, what are we defined by, and what happens when all that starts going really Pete-tong. And how do we cope? And what do we do with those emotions that actually we're told that this rage that I've got about the internet and this sadness that I've got about the fact that I can't just sit around and talk with all these people all the time and use the things that I have all the time to help because, that's just idealistic and not realistic. What do we do with these feelings? Do we suppress them? Do we repress them? Oh, I'm really off topic today, but let's go with it. What do we do with it? Do we do anything? Do we sit and be still? Does it call us into action because it's our passion? And what happens when we start losing our voice and we start losing our platform? How does that shake us? And how does that help us to align to a different platform and a different voice? One of the first ever Instagram posts that I put up, I think it's on my personal page, it might be my work page, either, well, probably both. They're very similar, was when you're speaking your truth and your voice shakes and you quiver, keep going. And what's that like for you? Like, to me, that is representative of the hope of the future, the hope of where you're going, the hope of your divine path, destiny, the hope of what's set for you. And I don't mean in a fake way, I mean in a, hey, what's the next opportunity? What's the next challenge? What can we see from even in the shipwrecks? One of the reasons Direct Joy today was about hope in the shadows was because I am a shadow worker. I work in the shadows of mental health. I work in the shadows and the depths and the analysing what the hell is going wrong. Hell. And what it's like to find hope there. And I remember the first time I used the word hope, and I was new. I was very new. I was very young, and I was working with a young person, And I mentioned hope, and she stopped and she looked at me, one of those looks. And I knew whatever was going to come out of her mouth or whatever was going to happen next was going to be big. And she went, "Do you really think there's hope where I'm at?" And it took me back, not because of her words, but because of what she said, the way she said, the feeling in the room, the vibe. It was, there was a lot. And I think I'm still unpacking that, right? Still unpacking what that was, because I sat back and it stopped me. And I went, no, there's not much, is there? And I saw this quote about the fact, it reminded me when I saw this quote at the end of last week about the fact of hope, and that hope is in the dark. Hope lives in the dark. Hope has to exist, whatever hope is, in the dark, because that's where it is. That's the spark. However small, however large, it has to be in the dark. It has to brighten up those spaces. It has to exist. Hope has to exist in the dark. It doesn't exist in the light and the cheery and the happy and the amazing. Hope helps us to reach out with braveness, with courage, with passion, with remembering, with that work, to actually go, oh, okay, that's the place. That's where I want to be. That's what I want to do. That's how I want to feel. That's what's required of me. And what is it we need to listen to in the dark to find that place? And sometimes it's so hard. Yet the contradiction of that is that actually when you find it, it's really bright. The lightness in dark, whenever you have any teeny amount of light, we see that from a full moon, right? As the moon grows, the light grows, right? In the dark, and we get lighter nights, okay? Lighter nights. There's more light. More light is shining on us. We don't need much. We just need a little. And the beauty of therapeutic work, the beauty of mental health work, is that actually 50 minutes, once, twice, 3 times a week, however many it is, whatever your magic number is, even whatever, even if this 12, 13, 18 minutes of direct joy is your piece every week. If your piece is having a bath, if your piece is having a walk, if your piece is praying, if your piece is yoga, if your piece is whatever your piece is, your peace, as in the dove landing, and how special that is to allow us to find our hope. And when we can see that spark, when we can feel that spark, be it in engaging in something, whatever therapeutically, be it baking, be it sewing, be it football, be it singing, be it dancing, be it making stuff with the kids out of anything, cardboard boxes. What is it that actually allows us to access our hope? And we need sometimes to go to those dark, quiet places, and we need to access the anger and the sadness to clear that, to allow the path of the cheeriness, of the joy. And sometimes it really does feel impossible because it's so dark, because it's so mad, because it's so bad, because it's so sad, because it's so what society tells us it is or it isn't and is defined by. But what's it like for you to have hope? What's it been like? And sometimes when you're in your darkest place, sometimes it's helpful to really think back on the past of when you felt in that way. What was it like? What did you rely upon? What's your reliable book to go to? What's your reliable piece of music to go to? What's your reliable walk? And if you have no reliables around you because it's all been shot to pieces, what is the reliable feeling inside of you? What nursery rhymes can you remember? What jokes can you remember? What can you remember in your body that helps you to access more of a place of peace? Because in that still place, that is what allows us to find stillness in the dark amongst the loudness and confusion and chaos. And that's where the hope is. I think that's why I enjoy working in the shadows so much, because that's where I can hear the hope, that's where I can see the joy, and that's where I know we can access mental, emotional, physical, the heart, spiritual, all of it, a health that actually is where we want to be. And a lot of it, I'm hastened to say, but I do believe it's true, it's a more simplified life. What do you need petrol for today? What do you need to get into debt for today? What do you need to have sugar for? What do you need to have that extra glass of wine, beer, line of something for today? Do you need it? Is there a place, has there been a place previously where you can access that hope, joy, elation, ecstatic, peace, stillness, quietness, listening, receiving? Is there a place that you can receive it yourself internally, not outwardly, internally, in a different way? What is it you can offer yourself that previously has worked, or that you have a little deep down, tiny ray of hope that is the direction? And sometimes that's going to bring up a huge amount of anger. Sometimes that's going to bring up a huge amount of grief. Sometimes that's going to be that you repress stuff and you put it away and you say, I'll park that for later because it's not a today thing, because I need to do X, Y, and Z. But whatever it is, know it. Know it in your heart, know it in your mind, recognise it in your body, because it is there, it will be there. Yeah. The pain's there, the rage is there, the sadness is there. It's all there, I'm afraid to say. But also, I'm delighted to say, because it shows that we're human. It shows that we're real. It shows that we show up. It shows that we're not turned off. It shows that we're turned on and we're ready to be turned on more. And it shows that we're open to the world in all its beauty, because bloody hell, it is beautiful, right? It really is beautiful. We're all beautiful, connecting with other people, the intimacy of connecting with friends. You know, we missed that so much last year, didn't we? The connection with our children that isn't just helping them do maths. That's my trigger. What is it connecting? What's it like to connect? And the more we can be in connection with ourselves, the more in the hope, in the shadows, in the light, we have an opportunity then to be in the real of who we are. And that keeps providing opportunity. It keeps providing it. And yes, we need to go to some darker, shallower places sometimes. Sometimes we need to go to some really deep, complex, chaotic places. But what that means is that there's hope. There's always hope. And sometimes we need to sit back and we need to recognise maybe there's not hope, but where can we find it? If there's not, where? So today's Direct Joy wasn't live, but you can access this replay on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. And if this has brought up anything for you, I do have some few opportunities at the moment to work with me. Please don't allow money to get in the way. I do have a variety of cost models. So yeah, it's not about money. Get in touch, have a discovery call, which is free, and see where we can go. Yeah, there's a few opportunities. There always is in September, October and January. They're my times where there's always opportunities, because if it's meant to be, it will happen. We'll make it happen. But yeah, these are the times to get in touch with me. So if you have been thinking about it, please do get in touch, and we'll make something happen. It will happen. And I think that's all. We've got a red tent coming up for women or anyone who identifies as a woman. If you're interested, on the 8th of October in Bexhill. You can check out the Eventbrite link for that, or just get in contact and say hi. I am working on loads of different stuff as per usual, and some of it fruits and some of it doesn't, which is really cool. So yeah, I wish you well. I hope and wish that there's hope for you and that this has sparked something for you. And thank you for bearing with me on the live streams. It will work. Something will happen. And if not, we'll just keep recording it and it will come out there anyway. So wishing you lots of joy and peace for today. And check out Ray Inc., Rachel Alexander and Sharon Vetch, because they are doing some awesome sponsored stuff at the moment, which I'm sharing, walks and runs, and both for dementia and for counselling, so for mental health. So two things very, very close to my heart and my mind. So just if you have any cheerful cash that you can give to Ray, or you have any cheerful cash that you can give to Sharon, they are supporting two amazing ventures and charities. So charitable work, I should say. So please do check them out, and I look forward to hearing your questions for next week, and I will see you soon. Take care.